Growing up and stuff, before I was able to start flying actual airplanes, my parents bought me a little pedal airplane, and I thought I was the coolest kid on the block. And I would make all my neighbors come outside and watch me do air shows, which was basically me flying around in circles on the ground in my little pedal airplane. And I actually have a really cool picture of me and my little pink pedal airplane in front of my dad's Bonanza when I was about 3 or 4 years old. And that's probably one of my greatest memories, growing up, was pedaling my little pedal airplane around and stuff. And just because I had that passion from a really young age, I really just wanted to jump into it. But the age really held me back. But, flying around my little pedal airplane, kick-started my love and passion for aviation. The passion came from, I grew up flying with my dad in his V-tail Bonanza, and as a kid I would stand on the end of our taxiway, 'cause I grew up living on an airport, and I would literally stand on the end of the taxiway and watch all my neighbors go fly right past me. And I would stand there and wait for a neighbor to pick me up to take me flying. So growing up as a young kid, that passion just started right when I was born. So at age 13, I came to my parents and I said, I really want to get into aviation, because I saw all my neighbors out there flying and I just really wanted to jump in and I wanted to get into it. And I came to my parents and I said, hey, I want to fly paramotors. And they kind of laughed at me. And they said, no, you're going to start flying gliders, because that's going to teach you the best stick and rudder skills that anyone can imagine. So at age 13, I started flying gliders, and I was able to solo by the time I turned 14, and then at age 16, I got my glider private license. And starting in gliders really humbled me, and it taught me the basics of flying, I think, in the best way possible, because once I jumped into a powered airplane, I was comfortable, but it was uncomfortable to have an engine in front of me. So every instructor that has pulled the power on me has said that I'm not phased and that I'm more comfortable when the engine's off than when it's on. Yeah, so actually when I turned 16, I got my glider private license, and then on my 16th birthday also I was able to solo in a Cherokee 140 at Burke Ridge where I lived, and it was actually a really cool experience because all my neighbors came out that day and they were all gathering and watching me solo, which was probably the most rewarding experience I've had in aviation so far, was seeing all my mentors come together and celebrate me getting into aviation.
Cherokee 6874 Whiskey, taking off on runway 27, Burke Ridge.
I think aviation brings a lot of joy to people, but for me, it brings me happiness. On the bad days, I'll go fly. On the good days, I'll go fly as a flight instructor. And every day I'll come home feeling the same sense of fulfillment. I think my why is the community of aviation. Getting together with people and meeting new people and flying and stuff. It's a whole community in itself, and I think seeing other people push others to get more ratings, to get more hours and stuff, that's a sense of my why, is other people inspiring each other to get into aviation. Young kids, basically anyone that has the willingness to learn to fly. That's my why. I want to share my experiences. I want to share my experiences and my joy and passion for aviation with others to inspire the next generation of people to get into aviation. So like in high school, I didn't have a great group of friends. I would leave school early basically every day to go fly, and I found my own group of people, and I found a whole community in aviation to keep me going, because all my friends from high school and stuff, they would doubt me. They're like, why are you skipping school so much? Why aren't you going out and partying? Why aren't you doing all this stuff? And I just found my own sense of joy and happiness in something that's going to push me to work harder and become smarter and learn more about the world than going out and having experiences that, you know, I probably won't remember in 10 years. But going out and flying and meeting great groups of people and stuff, that's my why I'm in aviation, because it just brings me great fulfillment. So yeah, growing up, my dad had a T6, and I was about 4 or 5 years old, and he would strap me in the back of the T6, and obviously the T6, you fly it from the front, so I would be in the back seat, and I was too short to look out the window. So what my dad would do, he would stack up about 5 pillows and a couple of phone books and sit me right on top of it and strap me down and buckle me up. And I remember being so little, he opened the door one day, and we took off, and I was too short to grab the window, to close it, to latch it. So yeah, really that's where my passion came from, was watching my dad fly, you know, a piece of history, and getting into aviation as a young kid was just really inspiring, and yeah. Alright, so basically there's a TFR around, what town is this? There's a TFR around Philadelphia, so we had to get a special clearance. We filed VFR flight plans, and we had to call them on the ground and let them know, hey, we're taking off. So we got our squawk code, and then once we were up, we plugged in the frequency that they gave us, and then we just started talking to them just so they know we're not going to do something stupid inside the TFR. And then today we went out and did some formation flying, so that was pretty cool. We had Ed lead with the photo plane. I think Joe and Ethan were getting photos in there. And then Stephanie and Eric were in the Cirrus. So we were just messing around and having a good time.
Yeah, having a good time.
Something that excites me to get up every day and to go fly as a flight instructor, or just go fly for fun, is learning something new. I got it started in flying and stuff, and people always told me, you know, as an aviator and as a CFI, you know, you learn something every day. You don't stop learning. And I'm a really curious person in life, and so I love that part of aviation where you don't stop learning. You keep going. You learn something new every day. There's so much to aviation: aerodynamics, learning systems, learning new airplanes, how one airplane flies different than the other, and clip wing, cubs, regular cubs, all this crazy stuff. And that really sparks my curiosity to get up every day and to go fly, is to learn something new, or to see something new, or experience something in a different way that I've never seen it before. I think a lot of people have the mindset that you have to come from an aviation family to get into aviation. I was fortunate enough to grow up around airplanes, to grow up with a dad that flew and stuff like that, but really you don't need that. You need to find a scholarship if you really need it, go to the airport and start talking to people. Make that bond, make that community with other aviators out there, and really that's going to bring you into the world of aviation. Experiences come from you saying yes, and from you taking opportunities to get into aviation and to not be scared of something. It's really about saying yes and It's like a big mystery of the world. You're never going to fully understand aviation. No one out there fully understands every single little detail about aviation. And I think that's what makes the aviation community so strong, is because everyone knows little bits and parts of aviation, but coming together as a community and stuff, that brings all that knowledge together. And I think that's what really makes the aviation community strong. And if being part of that, you're going to learn so much and you're going to get those experiences.